Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys here today that we definitely want you guys to stick around for. So please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, today we're going to be talking about the Clippers, right? Clippers, the team I support, came very close to not supporting that team anymore, but then they looked like they got their act together when they went on a 5-game winning streak. They finally got their players on the floor and actually started committed to playing basketball. Wow, what a concept here, right? What a concept. But last night, of course, the Clippers load managed again, and you know, this is why once again I cannot take people, or have decided not to take the people seriously that want to take the position of a Jay Williams when it comes to load management. These guys are the ones ruining the game, in my personal view. In my personal view, these are the guys ruining the game. The Clippers on a road trip. They had won every single game that they were playing. And last night, they were going to go play the Cleveland Cavaliers. I was going to watch the game. I was like, okay, let's see if they can go for 6 in a row. And then I found out that Paul George and Kawhi Leonard were not going to play. Now, here's the fact of the matter. The reason that they didn't play had nothing to do with being injured. They're not injured. They didn't get injured at the last game that they played against the Atlanta Hawks. They finished the game perfectly fine. The reason that they sat those guys down was due to rest. And they rested them on a road game. The same thing the Lakers are about to do against the Brooklyn Nets. This thing is running rampant in the NBA. And I actually posted on it on our community section. I said, Clippers literally just sat Kawhi Leonard and PG for rest. They are not injured, just to rest on a road game. This is why load management is bad, and they will lose because of it. Makes no sense. And they actually went on to lose the game. One fan said, I am sick of that BS too. The sad part is none of these dudes are fighting to play, and that says a lot about them. Kawhi has been my favorite player over the past 9 years, but this is just pathetic. I responded to him and I said, I think it's the teams making them do this. So for the people that thought that Jay Williams had a point, he's talking about, what was his original point? Well, you can't question a guy if he's injured. And Stephen A. Smith was saying, no one is questioning the players that are legitimately injured, like the Kevin Durant and these guys. We're talking about players that are resting, just inexplicably resting. And in the case of the Clippers, because they decided to load manage their best players, they ended up dropping that game. Now they're the number 4 seed in the Western Conference, so maybe the Clippers looked at it and said, hey, we went from being the number 8 seed, we got on a roll, and now we're back to being the number 4 seed, so we can kind of, you know, lose this game and then get back on track later on. And I understand that from a strategic standpoint, from a team standpoint. But what about the fans? What about the fans that paid money to go see Kawhi Leonard play? If I live in Cleveland, Ohio, and Kawhi Leonard is my favorite player, I would be pissed. I'm sorry, because I'm paying to go see him. And for him to not be there, it's unfair to me. It's unfair. And I don't even know how it's ethical. If you guys are going to load manage, put it on the ticket so people know what games and what are the games people are not going to be, so I don't bother wasting my money showing up. To me, I think it's just terrible. But anyway, back to this article here. Starts off with the headline, Kawhi Leonard could be behind the Clippers' interest in Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet. The Los Angeles Clippers have been involved in trade rumors in recent weeks as they try to improve their roster for the rest of the season. They have had ups and downs this season trying to compete in a stacked Western Conference, and things appear to be getting better for the team after their recent good run. They were initially looking to add more quality in the front court, with John Wall being mentioned in trade talks. It seems like the backcourt will also get an update soon, as they're looking for options at the point guard position. That's why the Clippers have been linked with a series of players around the league, including Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet. The Los Angeles team has been mentioned amongst D'Angelo Russell's sweepstakes, but the first 2 names look like favorites to join the Clippers right now. Kawhi Leonard might be interested in a reunion with Kyle Lowry or Fred VanVleet. According to Matt Moore of Action Network, Lowry and VanVleet are drawing a lot of interest from the Clippers, and he mentions their prior relationship with Kawhi Leonard as a big factor for this. Kawhi Leonard has made it clear to the Clippers front office that he would welcome a point guard addition, and it's no surprise that the two of his former teammates on his championship Raptors team, Lowry and Van Vliet, are on the short list of targets. There's more optimism that Van Vliet will be traded given his relative decline this season, his differential in timeline from Scotty Barnes, and his desire for a new deal with a $22 million player option for next season. He's expected to decline. Now, here are my thoughts. I've said for quite some time now that the Clippers' #1 problem area is their point guard spot. I like the recent move that they decided to do, because I think it's the best thing that they could have done. I don't like Reggie Jackson starting. I like Reggie Jackson coming off the bench. They tried to use Patrick Beverley at one point. They tried to go with Rajon Rondo. They tried someone, Eric Bledsoe. Those things didn't work out, right? They just couldn't get that point guard spot right. But to me, I think Terrence Mann is their best option right now, at the very least. Why? #1, he has playoff experience. He has hit some big shots in the playoffs. #2, he is a 6'5" point guard. He has length. He can defend. He can get over screens. He can hit an open three. He's just not as consistent, and I'm sure a lot of people like him to be. But I like what he brings, and he also has a lot of athleticism on the perimeter, which is something that I like. And I think that given that he's 6'5", it makes it a little bit tougher for defenders to break down the Clippers' first line. Of defense. So I like what he brings there. But if the Clippers are looking to make an upgrade in the direction of Fred VanVleet, at least during that Toronto Raptors run, he was just as an important piece as any other player on that team. He hit some incredibly clutch, big-time shots. He was an integral part of that run. He's a very clutch player. Kind of gives me some Derek Fisher type of vibes. Very clutch, very sturdy. Plays his position stocky. He can do it. He can hold his own. He's an undersized point guard, but I like what he brings in terms of his intangibles, his confidence to this roster. So it's a matter of time. We're going to have to wait and see what the Clippers are going to do by the trade deadline. But for now, I just hope that they continue to try to make sure that their players are playing games and ultimately building their chemistry. What's going to matter the most is not the player they trade for, is what they built upon what they currently have. They have a lot. I just hope that they just manage this thing properly. And obviously they have a lot of smart people working in that organization, so they must know what they're doing. So these are my thoughts and opinions on this. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts in the comment section, and we catch you on the next show. Peace.